Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Cutter, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. It is number 1, 7, 5. Yeah, I can't do the fingers. So, for some strange reason, I got to number 175 faster than I thought. Well, I did 150, now I'm at 175. But I'm kind of spinning my heels after 175, so it might be a while till I get to 200. Probably a few months, probably 2023, just to let you know. So yeah, maybe I'll do the 200 in 2023. But anyway, so this is a big one. I kind of saved it. There were a couple of Degrassi Unpopular Opinions that by date actually were shorter time than what I did. So 26 days ago, and for context, it's being taped on October the 22nd, 2022. I didn't purposely pick the 22nd to do my one for 2022. The 22nd for years actually, I hated on because March 22nd was when I lost my job at Target, and April 22nd was when my grandma died. So anyway, yeah, for years. But anyway, I said this. For all of Emma's issues, her greatest issue was how she internalized a lot of things. I made this an unpopular opinion because, everyone hates on Emma for her cause girl thing, but I disagree. I said that it's basically her internalization that ruined it. Think about it. She didn't talk at length about the fact she was catfished when she thought that Armstrong was making a play for Liberty in season 1, and maybe made her uncomfortable with things going forward in her character show length. And let's not forget the number one thing she internalized about, and that was the trauma and potential guilt over the Rick situation. She probably felt like she was at fault for some of the bullying because of her Orange Ribbon campaign, and she had a gun pointed at her. But I feel like she couldn't process it correctly and tell people how she really felt, and her true feelings never came out in season 4 or beyond. Because it is possible that the incident made Emma uncomfortable with things, and she couldn't be the old Emma. I know there's more to this issue, and all that, so half of it. So I had 6 people respond to it, and I got 76 upvotes for that thing. Well, there's one person who made a kind of a movie script of his or her answer. I don't know what gender this one is, but anyway, I'll tell you the other ones. Fragrant Monk said Emma was such a natural. You really felt like she was feeling what she was feeling based on just a simple look, and that's good acting. Crush Evidence said, yeah, the Armstrong Liberty plot was definitely Emma dealing with trauma. They could have covered it more explicitly. Mary Mortician said this was a spot-on analysis. Emma always put on a strong front, and I have no doubt in my mind she wanted to be a rock for the people around her. The funny thing is that there was another Degrassi post by somebody who gave a hot take, and the person said, and the OP, not Mary Mortician, the OP said that, the original poster said that someone talked about Emma internalizing her problems and all that, and Mary Mortician mentioned me in the post. Sophie said, I wish they ever mentioned those traumatic things after they happened again. That she internalized everything is probable, but I wish at which point she broke down, or at least some obvious signs that she avoids certain topics. So it's really canon, and not what we have to assume. An accomplished Cup said, I think the eating disorder was the breakdown. She couldn't control a lot of her aspects of her life, and that's one of the main components of an eating disorder. Which was ironic because Mary McDonald actually was coming off of one herself, the actress who played Emma. So anyway, before I get more into the internalization, I gotta give some context. So it's the first episode of Degrassi Next Gen, October 2001. I actually did a thing about it, like the first episode breakdown for Degrassiism, and of course, things were a lot different 20 years ago. So anyway, Emma and Manny are looking at a site, an email from this guy named Jordan who said that Emma saved his project for the rainforest. And, Emma is like unbelievable and all that. It's unbelievable. And then she gets a notice that Jordan wants to meet her in Toronto the next day. JT and Toby, who were introduced as well, told her it's a bad idea because of a stranger being online. And Emma says, he's not a stranger. I've known him longer than I've known you. That being, I think, Toby. So anyway, Emma doesn't know what to do. She talks to Caitlin, who gives her the advice about going for it, not realizing that Jordan was the guy over the internet. So Emma goes to the hotel and all that. She lies to Manny about watching some kind of documentary, and it was not even on. And Manny gets JT and Toby to help her with the cryptic clues to her email. So they do. They hack it, and then they find out where the hotel room is. And then they go to the Degrassi reunion to get Spike and Snake to help them out. And Snake stops Jordan from doing something because Jordan is a middle-aged man who want to take advantage of a very young Emma who was 13 at the time. Emma realizes she's in over her head, but she can't believe her luck. Her terrible luck. She locks herself in the bathroom. Jordan tries to force her out, but then Snake finds him and puts him in the hallway and decides to beat him up and all that. Unfortunately, Jordan goes to jail for a while. Don't know how long. And then the police tell Spike to keep all of Emma's electronics within easy range for the Spike to find out about Emma. Like, keep guard of internet predators and all that. Emma breaks down saying that, I made a dumb mistake. And you don't remember when we were 12 to Spike. And Spike says, yeah, I do. But Spike tells Emma, you can talk to me about anything. And, we'll get through this together. So, yeah. So Emma got catfished. And then all of a sudden, episodes later, she finds Mr. Armstrong getting close to Liberty. And Emma thinks something's up because it's like Liberty shouldn't be confronted like that. Manny tells her that maybe Emma's misreading the information. They talk about it, and then all of a sudden, Terry and Hazel find out, and then they spread the rumor throughout the whole school about Armstrong and Liberty. Armstrong's called into Ratchet's office, but Emma goes to try to clear Armstrong's name. And she does. She claims her. She said that it was just a pure accident, and she just didn't know. She took responsibility for the rumors. Liberty blasted her, saying that Armstrong was consoling her because of her dyscalculia, which is definitely, it's like dyslexia, but with math. That, it doesn't make sense with math and all that stuff. So anyway, Emma is upset that she botched it. Liberty just basically tells her to save the environment because that being a good friend is terrible. You're terrible at being a good friend. And Liberty's right. So anyway, Emma feels upset over everything. But the sacrificial lamb of a situation counts on nobody. So anyway, I don't know why I said that. But anyway, it was never established that Emma felt uncomfortable with Armstrong and Liberty because of how she was catfished. Remember, this is catfishing before it was in the lexicon, like 6-7 years later. And so, Emma didn't say that, I felt terrible because of me being catfished and with an older gentleman, that maybe that was what it was. She should have said it. But regardless, this was huge. And this could have also led to Emma's prudishness in season 1 when Manny wanted to be a cheerleader. She didn't want Manny to be sexualized in Spirit Squad. Emma had this picture of cheerleaders being sexualized and all that, taken advantage by guys. That's true. Even though Paige says that, we're going to have boys on the team. And gender is not what Emma thinks. That, sexist. It's two different definitions. The definition Emma's going for is that, cheerleaders are, in her mind, bimbos. In the meantime, Paige thinks that it's about, males not being in cheerleading, but they are. They actually have been in cheerleading, especially in college, for many years. So thus, that's not the point. So yeah. And then, she didn't want Manny to be sexualized and all that. But Manny took it the wrong way, in a sense. Emma did it. I made her fault, but to no avail. And then all of a sudden, Emma has all these issues. The whole older gentleman thing, I don't think that really played much into her internalization after season 1. I don't recall that things. I talked about it in a CDUO about Emma's problems had dark beginnings. But the simple fact is Emma internalizing things was terrible. I mean, Emma didn't internalize everything. In season 2, she didn't internalize her disgust over her mom being with Snake. I mean, being with her mom being with her teacher. I mean, who wouldn't be upset with that? And then you got yourself the fact that, when Jack was going to be aborted by Spike, and Spike said, I don't want a second accident, Emma went straight to Snake and basically figured her thoughts. I mean, she did talk to Spike about the problems, but Spike just shoot her off in a sense. And then, the fight for your right thing. She didn't internalize her problems, especially with free speech and GMO foods, which got her in trouble, but still, she didn't internalize it. And then season 3, well, she kind of internalized her dad, her birth dad's Shane. Well, in season 3, she goes to go after Shane because she wants to know about her real father with a sibling on the way. And then, she tries to clear her head of, like, trying to think how she knew Shane. She said she went to a doctor's office. She searches for Dr. Shane McCain, finds one, but he's black. So Emma realizes that it wasn't it. So using Snake's alumni thing, she tracks down Shane in Stouffville. And, Jonathan Torres did a fantastic job. He even won a Gemini for it, which is Canada's answer to the Emmy, if you must know. And actually, that's why Emma is named Emma, because, when they went with the teen pregnancy thing with Shane and Spike in Degrassi Junior High, it won an international Emmy. No, I think it won a normal Emmy because, the show was co-produced in Boston, too. So, yeah, that's it. So, she was upset that Spike lied about Shane to her and all that. Snake does the honorable thing and tells Emma the situation about Shane, didn't know much, wanted to take care of Emma, but his parents disapproved of it. And then one night he took acid and fell off a bridge. Or jumped off, we don't know. But he's fine. He just has brain damage. And, when Shane gets Emma's address and then pays Spike a visit and destroys the house, Emma tells Shane, stay away from my mom or I will never speak to you ever again. And then Shane knits something for Spike. And that was the end of Shane. They didn't really, I don't think they talked about Shane after that episode. They blackballed him. Like, not even to mention. Well, Emma does knit in season 6 to calm herself down, but she doesn't say why she does that. Like, the connection to Shane. And, internalizing that was huge. She internalized having a father that was not Snake. So that was kind of stupid, don't you think? But anyway, yeah, I understand because, Shane was a bad monster and Emma realizes she shouldn't be affiliated with him. Let's see. What other times has she internalized it? Of course, we know Rick Murray, and then she internalized her problems in the eating disorder. Like, Snake was kicked out of the house for his treats with Hatzalakos, and Spike was more upset with the fact that Snake wanted Emma to keep quiet about it rather than the deed itself. Fortunately, the family gets back together. Snake wins Spike back. Unfortunately, Emma has to do more around the house, and she's starting to lose it. She's starting to have like a brownout or something. What you call it? Not a brain freeze. Like, she's just off her game and everything, like school and all that. And then she decides to take control of the situation by doing an eating thing with Manny, like dieting with Manny. But then once Emma took it way too far, Manny stopped. But Emma persisted. And she also has the internalization with being with Peter, even though that Peter frickin' put Manny in a bad situation. She still wants to be with Peter. And that's kind of stupid. Now, of course, Manny threatened to, out Emma's eating disorder to Spike. And then Emma says, fine, I'm dating Peter. Are you happy? I mean, why would she be dating Peter? And then, trying to keep control of the house and all that. So, yeah, she internalized her problems. But they finally snapped with the eating disorder. She had the breakdown at the intervention after taking down Manny's, Peter, and Snake. So she vows to get better, which she basically does, even though that she's still with Peter, which was stupid. She didn't like Sean had to find out that Emma and Jay hooked up and like all that, but Emma said she was in a zombie phase, and Jay even vouches for Emma. But Sean almost runs away, but then he finds out that Emma is the best part of his life, so he goes back to Emma and begs Emma to give him hell and all that. So yeah, Emma internalizing her things. I think she kind of. But here's the big thing about internalizing with me. In season 6, the whole Manny situation. After JT gets stabbed, steps from Emma's house at a party that they should not have thrown, Emma feels terrible and all that. And with Manny moving back home because of this incident, Emma feels like she's losing Manny as an ally. And Manny says, contrary, we'll still hang out and all that, but Manny blows Emma off one too many times, and Emma is upset, especially after realizing that A, there's a cheerleading competition at Degrassi, and Lakers is coming to it, and she doesn't feel that great about it. We're dancing on JT's grave. Everyone said, no, we'll do a tribute to JT. But Emma still leads the go home Lakers thing. And B was that, Emma was dating Damien, who was from Lakehurst, and his family had a connection with Drake Lampley, the redhead who stabbed JT. Manny's not too happy. But Emma says, it doesn't matter. We won the competition thanks to you. Everything is back to normal. And then, Lakehurst and Degrassi have a big fight. Emma gets a bunch of detention for her role. She then yells at Snake, saying that people are glossing over JT's death, and I'm pissed. Snake had a point saying that Emma is blaming everything on one student. Well, the school is different from the student. And, Emma still gets yelled at because she couldn't internalize things any longer. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since JT died, and she's finally she's blasting everyone. She's blurting everything out in the open. Manny does tell Emma that we're a team and all that. You have to realize that we can help each other out. And then Emma realizes the power of friendship. Sorry for the My Little Pony trope, but it's true. Regardless, that wasn't the biggest internalization because, yeah, Emma had issues, could have had PTSD from JT stabbing in season 6, which led from the Rick Murray situation. But 2 weeks, she held things in for a few weeks. She held things longer in the Rick situation. So, give you a little bit of background here. Emma got involved in the Rick Murray situation in season 4 because she wandered outside and found Paige and her clique upset that Rick is back at the school. She asks what's going on. They tell her about Rick, and then she says, we need to do something. So she doesn't want Rick down the hallway, but Raj says, move Emma, and she says, we don't want him at our school. And Raj says, it's not one of your silly crusades and all that. Stay out of this. And it's like, what the hell, Raj? I think that tells you he had a grudge against Emma. I mean, why else would he say stupid crusades and all that? Like, he could have been much easier on Emma, but, that just he just tips his hand. He doesn't like Emma getting involved in shit because it undermines him somehow. And then, Emma is in the girls' bathroom with Paige and finds it out. Paige says that nobody cares about this monster. No one's doing anything. And Emma says, we need to help. And then she decides to help Paige and then try to kind of stick it to Manny and Liberty, who deserted her as a friend. Although Emma did ask for it. So anyway, so she gets into Paige's clique. They do the Orange Ribbon campaign and raises money. She's looking good, but they use the orange ribbons as a way to attack Rick and make him leave Degrassi that way. Also, they use the Orange Ribbon campaign, I guess, as a way to tell the faculty that if you won't do anything about it, we'll do it about it. Mob justice. Emma gets a check for more than $500 from Rick. Alex rips it up, and Emma says, you don't know anything about the domestic violence thing. And Alex tells about how she's victimized by domestic violence next to her mom's boyfriends. And it's like, yeah, we have a little bit of sympathy for Alex, but she was a bully. And she pictured Rick as the embodiment of every guy who wronged her mom. Fair enough. Emma is then told to stay away from Rick at all costs. She tries to prove her loyalty to Paige by tripping Rick up. And then the boys beat Rick up. And then Emma said enough is enough because the orange ribbon thing was for domestic violence too, but they were taking it the wrong way. She loses her cause, she loses more people to Degrassi, and she's only forced to be around the quiz team of Toby, Rick, and Heather Sinclair. Well, soon to be replaced by Jimmy. So then, she has to go through the whole issue with with Rick. Rick does tell Emma, thank you for trying to get me to be with Jimmy because it all worked out. Emma doesn't clue into his advances, holding her hand, whispering, this is for you, and being creepy. Emma finally snaps at Rick, saying, I pitied you, get a clue. Rick goes back home and finds his dad's gun. And he's like, what to do? So, Rick almost shoots Paige, but doesn't because Paige calms him down. He goes to his locker, puts the gun in, and then cleans himself up. But then Spitter and Jay trick Rick into thinking Jimmy was a part of it. Rick shoots Jimmy, and then he conveniently finds Emma and almost kills her, but Sean saves the day. Great job. So anyway, it doesn't matter. As Emma thinks she's done enough. But unfortunately, having the gun pointed at her and, with Rick wanting to kill her because she spurned him, took a lot of that out of Emma. She did cry out in Back in Black and thank Sean for saving her life. And, she was upset when Sean left for Wasaga. Emma seemed fine in a few episodes, but then Secret came out and we find out Emma is not so great. She's internalizing things, people are walking on eggshells around her. They're not forcing her to ask for help, and her grades are slipping. Perina was being a dick in that scene. I'm sorry. So Emma logically feels that going down to the ravine with Jay may help her out because Jay's helping her self-esteem out. Unfortunately, it comes at a price of possibly gonorrhea, and Emma then realizes she, after the shooting, had to be perfect for Spike and Snake and everybody else because that was her MO in the first few seasons. But no, they told her you don't have to be perfect for anybody. And that's what Mary Mortician said. It was basically putting on a strong front because she wanted to be a rock for the people around her. But, Emma internalized it. And Emma, we didn't know about Emma's issues with Rick and other things past season 4. And yeah, the Rick situation is kind of why she was boy crazy and friend crazy. Although friend crazy, not so much. After season 4, then boy crazy. She wanted to be with a guy because maybe being with a guy would have shooed Rick away. Well, Rick could have shot the boyfriend and all that. That's why she was after Peter, because she wanted control and she loved Peter. Even though he put Manny in a bad situation. I guess maybe because Manny was forced to be at Emma's house and all that, Emma felt gracious and all that. But, Emma is not the best person in the world. And then her friend phase with Manny, well, yeah, you can argue that living with her in season 5 was a way to keep Manny close to her. But then, she finally realizes after season 6 that she needs her friends. She needs people like Manny and Liberty because she didn't have those friends to help her out in the whole Rick situation. I mean, I wish she came out to Snake about all these issues and all that. So yeah, that was a massive internalization problem. And let's go. Not like the movie. And not like the movie is saying a lot of stuff. I know I'm giving you guys a very long CDUO, but this is a special one. This is number 175. So here we go. Here's not the real movies thing. They said, I feel like Emma is heavily at fault for Rick's bullying situation, and her realizing that and softening up on him temporarily was one of the things that pushed Rick over the edge. To him, her not treating him like total trash was interpreted as flirtation in the context of how everyone else treated him. She showed just enough compassion that it really stung when she brutally rejected him after he tries to force himself on her in the aftermath of the trivia contest. Rick obviously bears the full responsibility for what he did and the way he acted. That's not really up for debate. That being said, Emma purposely spurred the entire school into bullying him. She directly bullied Rick on multiple occasions to score points with Paige before softening up on him when she saw how far things were going. During the pivotal moment when Rick went full on fedora tipping stereotypical neckbeard towards him, she was pretty harsh in rejecting his advances. Hey, who am I joking? This person really hates on Emma and all that. and says one of the things after shooting Jimmy, he went for Emma next. The reason why Rick went for Emma was because it was convenience. I don't think he was going to go after Emma, because if he was really going after Emma, he would have found Emma first, not Paige. Can't believe I freaking, you know, bought myself into this thing. I thought this person would have some great insight, but no, guess not. Blaming Emma for everything. But I guess, yeah, I do not agree with this topic at all. Emma being heavily at fault. Emma at fault? Yes. Heavily? Not so much. I mean, Rick was making weird advances towards her, and Emma didn't like it. And yeah, Emma did stuff to get brownie points with Paige in her clip because, Emma needed friends. But that was the wrong way of approaching it. Yes, Emma deserves some brunt with this situation. But yeah, internalizing things is just not good for everybody. Everyone internalizes things. I do so myself a lot too. But the simple fact is, it's the culture. Emma probably didn't know how people would feel about her situation, post Rick. But I guess everyone would have understood if she had just kept it thing. And it didn't help that Spike and Snake wanted to walk on eggshells around her. They should have opened up with Emma, because maybe Emma would have opened up to them and things would have been much better. But, that's not the truth. But yeah, Emma internalizing things just sucks. I mean, yeah, she went full blown triggered in seasons 1 through 3. But still, I mean, internalizing things just wasn't good for Emma. I mean, Maya could be seen as being internalizing too much about the Cam situation in season 14. Like, she should have said Cam's name, because then people probably would have given her more sympathy. But they thought she was cuckoo. I mean, yeah, not saying Cam's name is a part of thing for trauma, but Maya could have easily saved her butt by being honest about it, and then she would have got massive help and not have to get a trigger to her PTSD for the bus crash in next class. Just saying. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.